can't seem to keep up with making content. I know I have to make content, I just can't keep up. It's too hard. You know why it's too hard? Two reasons. Either you're flipping lazy. If you are, you can be honest with yourself. But 90% of the time, if you're a person who's watching this video, that means you're not a lazy person. You're trying to improve yourself. That means you don't have better systems. That's what that means. You don't have better systems to create consistent content. So in this video, I will be going over 4 things. I'll be going over the exact systems that I use to manage my content that produces 2 to 4 long-form pieces of content every week. And the system that I developed is from the years of iterations of building these systems for myself and for all the top influencer clients that I worked with, setting up their automations for content and a bunch of other stuff. We worked with people like Nas Daily, co-host of the Dave Ramsey Show, Anthony O'Neill, 6th largest YouTuber, Law by Mike, the agentic stuff that I built for myself that allows me to do ideations, track my competitors without me doing much work. Thirdly, I'll be showing you all the automations that I personally have to make my life easier and my team's life easier and doing content much quicker. And lastly, how do I have such seamless collaboration between all my team with one system? How do I track everything? How do I manage everything? How do each people know what they're supposed to do with one system? I'll be going over those things as well, alright? So this is the entire dashboard that we have where I manage all my content. So this is the section for templates, this is the section to see what it is, this is the ideation section, this is the reviews, this is the review section, this is the managing content section, and this is where we see what's been scheduled, what's been published, and this is where we track everything. I'm going to be going over one section at a time so you can understand why I made this, why this was built, and how you can leverage the same thing, alright? Because why is more important than copying what I just built, because if you don't know why I did it, you can't make the best of this. So the first thing is first, yeah. So the first problem that we had was I have a bunch, we as a team have a bunch of common things, the common rules and guidelines that we have to follow for editing, common guidelines to do when I'm shooting, common guidelines to do when I'm speaking. So stuff like that, right? If I keep them in different places, I can't access it quickly. You know what happens if you can't access it quickly? You tend to completely ignore them. So the first fix that we had to do was create a simple dropdown. Is the first thing that I see when I go in here. It's the template section. It has a template. So we have things like shooting guide, YouTube script template, YouTube description template. We have comment track. We have everything, every key templates that we need to have, every guide that we need to have is under the template section right here. And all I need to do is just click on this. I go to the document. I can read everything on how I need to do things from in here. This is where we have all the logins. So all my team doesn't have to ping me, Fahad, what's the logins for this? They can find everything in here. This has the list of all the channels that we have. And this branding assets is where we store all the key assets that we have. Things such as the colors, the branding theme, all those things that we have, right? That's technically what we use in here to store them. I haven't added all the information, but that's the point. Logos, color, branding, everything is supposed to be inside this, all right? So that's that. Next thing I want to do is I didn't want my team to go through all this hassle of, finding the exact edit my editor has to do, finding the exact content my team has to create, this guy has to write, they have to go through all this mess to see what they have to do, right? So what we did is we created 2 simple sections. We created a my task section. What is a my task section? All you have to do is if we click on in here, right, it's only going to show you the tasks that are assigned to different people. So as you can see, I have these tasks for me. I have these many, I have a shit ton of tasks, bro. I'm falling behind, but now I know I'm falling behind because of the systems. How beautiful is that? I know I'm a failure. I don't think I'm a failure. I'm kidding. I'm not a failure, but you guys get the point. But my Tibby has one video he hasn't edited. My editor Tibby, shout out to Tibby. Guys, put W's in the chats for Tibby. Dude's the one editing this. Anyways, Blessin, my copywriter, he has 3 tasks assigned to him. So this section is where he goes to see all the tasks that are assigned to different people. So if I go in here, I can be like, hey, these are the things I need to do today. I don't have to go through all this mess, all this crap, all this content, big ass database to see what I need to do. I can quickly see in here. Now, for my editor, right? My editor shouldn't go through all this process to see what he has to edit. All he has to do is go to his editing pipeline, and that's the pipeline for him. He can see everything that is ready to edit. Okay, there is 4 pieces of content that he has to edit. All he needs to do is click on in here. He can get all the information from here. All right, I'll show you how I configure everything. So anyways, that's my editor's pipeline. In this section, he sees all the things that are ready to edit. In this section, he puts things that are editing in progress. In this section, he puts things that are revisions needed. In this section, he puts things that are approved. And in this is where he puts things for ready for approval. So this is the only thing that the editor has to know. We have like 15 different stages across our content process such as ideation, idea, good idea, ready to write the idea, ready to build out the idea, then ready to film the idea, ready to approve, schedule, publish, 15 to 16 different stages. My editor doesn't have to go through all this crap. I want to make his life simple. So we created one section of my editor, and that's the only thing he goes. He goes in here, he sees what he's ready to edit, he gets onto editing, and that's how we're able to pump out content. Because firstly, we have good system, and secondly, Debbie is the fucking code. Alright, now, so that's how we configure this. And this, if I quickly have an idea, right, all I need to do is just click on this content idea button. Boom, an idea is created, a page is created. I type in the idea, everything is quickly done. I just click on a button, boom, the content ideation is created. Now, so that's how you create a quick idea. Click on that button, type in the information on that button, and you are good to go. So now, before I show you guys how the rest of the stuff is built, I need to firstly explain to you guys how each content tile works. What all information do I store in each content tile, and more importantly, how do I divide this content tile across the whole content creation process? So the first thing that we did is, the way Notion works is you can create database, and each database you can present them in a thing called Kanban view. What is a Kanban view? It's essentially this. So there is either you can have a listicle format like this, it shows you all the list, or you can make it a bit pretty. If you have different stages, right? If you have different statuses like this, I have not started, idea, potential idea, right, ready to film. I can divide them. I can put them in a Kanban view like this, where I can see different stages in different columns. This makes it much easier to see and visualize at which stage each of the content is in. So that's the first thing I did. I created a Kanban view, and then I divided each Kanban into the different processes that we personally take in creating the content. And honestly, the process I take is going to apply to you as well, because this can apply to 98% of the content creators out there. So the first stage is for us, the first stage was ideation. So for me, we create, on weekly calls, we have a bunch of ideas. So we put them all in here. Or if I'm taking a massive shit after eating Taco Bell, I'm having explosive diarrhea, I'm sitting there without my phone, I have a bunch of ideas, yeah? I want to put them all. But I'm kidding. I do get explosive diarrhea when I eat certain foods, yeah? Taco Bell, maybe. Sponsor me, Taco Bell. I won't say the story ever again. So once the potential ideas combined in a few, we have two stages for my particular process. Either we create the template for me, since I do automations or systems, or AI, I have to create the AI stuff or the automation stuff. So I put them in here. In some cases, I don't have to create anything. My copywriter can just create the copy for me, create the script for me. So in such cases, he puts them in here. All right. Now, once he starts writing it, right, I assign it to him in here. Once he starts writing, he puts them in writing in progress. And once it's done, he just puts them in ready to film. Fahad, start editing. He assigns it to me. I'm filming. I put them in filming in progress. And once I'm done filming, I put them in ready to edit. Sometimes, I don't bother putting them in here. As soon as I'm done editing, instead of putting, I just directly put them in here. So sometimes I use this tree, sometimes I don't. And once he's done editing, right, he puts them in ready for approval. So either we approve it by putting them in approved stage, or my team is going to move them into a stage called revisions needed, where we are like, what, hey, you need to revise this, you need to make certain changes. So it keeps going into ready for approval until it's approved. And once it's approved, it's ready to publish. We need certain assets such as thumbnails, descriptions, titles. Once that is there, he schedules it, and as soon as it's published, it goes in the publish section. So that's how we divided each section. Now let's go. Now I'm going to be showing you exactly what all items and information that we store in each tile of our content. All right. So the first thing is custom fields. So custom fields is where we can store recurring information, such as which platform is this for, when are you editing, when is the due date, etc. So some of the things that I have is priority. Certain content is high priority. In such cases, we put them in urgent. So my editor knows this has to go out urgent. Sometimes it's low priority, normal, high. Most of the stuff is high. For Claude new latest release, we put them in urgent, and this is automatically tracked. Any thumbnail that we have, they put them in here. The description for the video, they put them in here. And this is where I upload all the assets and all the videos. I put them in here. They have a media option where I just add them in here, and this is automatically done. I choose which platform we're posting. Is this for TikTok? Is this for Instagram, Twitter, YouTube? I assign it to my teams in here, and the status. This is where I update the status. This is where all the states that we show, right? The Kanban view. It's based on a custom field. It's based on this custom field. So that's the Kanban view, and then I choose the format. Sometimes I make a YouTube. Sometimes it's a short form content, not a long form. So I choose what type it is. Is it a short form? Is it a long form? Is it a carousel post? Is it a text based? Is it a static? I define what it is. And there are that's the default fields. Right now there are hidden fields I want to show you that most people don't talk about, and the hidden fields I assign due date is shown to my team, but editing start time and editing end time. Now this is the two important fields that are automatically tracked by my system when it goes across different stages, so I can see how long my editor takes to edit a particular video. This is how I track how efficient and quick he is, and this is hidden. Now it's not a B2B knows. Now my editor knows. God damn it! Why? But my editor, he knew it already. So this is how we track, and this is automatically tracked by my system. So those are the hidden fields, and any comments my team adds comments in here. And then in this section is where they define everything. They give me the intro. They talk, Fahad, this is the intro, this is what you have to talk about. This is the section by section things you have to go. This is the section by section things you have to go about, and this is the call to action. So essentially this is the script that I need to go over for this particular video. They include everything in here. So that's how we format. And let me see if I can give you another example. So yeah, so this is another example. Same thing, we store all the information in here, and they give a quick context about what I'm talking about. They have an intro section, they have a body on every single script information I need to talk about. They have a call to action, and they have a visualization layer. My team creates a visual layer of every video that we do. I don't like to just talk about it. I want to show something visual where we have a step-by-step instructions on what we will be going over in this video. So my team creates stuff like this and gives it to me, and I just record the stuff. Yeah, so that's beautiful. Just makes our life so much easier. Please guys, use this tactic. I hope it helps. So that's exactly how we divide things. Now let's go back to the main section. Yeah, so now that you understand each section works, so this is where we show all the published stuff. So if I go in here, I can see last month we can see all these pieces of content that went out. This week we can see these pieces of content that went out. This is the ideation section, so all the good ideas that are in here, and I can move them to good ideas. If I see this is a good idea, put them in the good idea section. And this is where I go and I type in all the information in here. We have different templates in here, so I type in my comments, or I type in what I think about this idea, and then I move them to the section called ready to write. This is when I put them in ready to write, and I assign it to my copywriter, and I put them in ready to write, and he starts writing the content. This is the section where if I have to review anything, right, anything that needs my reviewal, it's always in this section right here. And this is the section where we manage different things. So this is the production pipeline where everything that's ready to film for me is in here. So we have different sections for different people, and this is where we can see all the scheduled and all the published videos so far. And this is where I track all the KPIs for my team, and I even have a different page. Let me show you exactly what the page is. So this is my content team's tracking dashboard. So this is where I track all the data for them. I can see exactly how many revisions each content needs, how long my team takes to edit. You saw that two hidden fields. So this is the reporting layer where I can track exactly how many revisions did my editor take to revise things, how many errors did my editor make, how many edits, how long does he take to edit certain videos. I track everything in here. So this is the dashboard where we track everything. So that's that. Now that you saw exactly how our system entirely operates from start to finish, now let me show you the automations and backend side of things, right? So the first automation I have is I have an AI. So the first automation I have is the ideation automation. Now I have two automations, one agent and one AI automation that allows me to come up with good ideas. So the first one is a voice activated ideation agent. What is that? Basically all I need to do is just voice out what ideas I have in my phone, and it's automatically generating one idea in here. So I think I have a bunch of ideas where I just voice it out in my phone. What I do is voice it out. AI takes the transcript, AI creates the title, AI puts the description, AI creates the transcript of what I said as well and puts them in here. So anytime I quickly have an idea, I can quickly jot them down in here. Now the second way I do this is very interesting. Now I built agent. Now I created detailed videos on how my agentic system works. I'll attach the video in here, but I have an agent that I call Steve Jobs. So this is the agentic dashboard that I personally have, where I manage 13 different agents for sales, operations, coding, finance, communications. I have different agents. Now you see Steve Jobs, I called it Steve Jobs. It's the marketing agent. So this marketing agent is insanely cracked. So I taught this marketing agent to go to my YouTube and check my competitors every time. Now all I need to do to tell this marketing agent is, hey, can you look at my competitors and see what videos they're working and what's top trending in their YouTube and in my niche. So it tells me, hey, these are your 3 main competitors. Liam Otley, I'm coming after you, bro. Nick, call Nick, and Nate Hurks. Love Nate Hurks. We shared a stage together. Good dude. Yeah. So these guys, it gives me all their top videos. Like, hey Fahad, these are the top 3 videos that are working really well. And it gave me a bunch of suggestions like this. And it even tells me, Fahad, since you do this, none of these creators are creating about real agency, real business stuff. You should do stuff like that. And that's what I'm currently doing. I'm talking to you business owners right now and content creators right now. Because, yeah, they're like, hey, they are not doing these things. You should do these things because that's you. It gave me a bunch of suggestions. Like, hey, this week I was talking to this agent and he gave me a bunch of suggestions. Hey, Fahad, create this video, this video, this video. That video is really popping off. And that's how, and it shows me like, hey, Cloud Code stuff, all 4 of them are creating Cloud Code stuff. 2 of them created this innate and stuff. Bro, this is giving me breakdowns, beautiful breakdowns. So this is one of the other ways in which we have ideations happening. So that's the ideation side of things. And the next thing that we have is when we move things to ready to write, we have an entire automation that basically creates scripts for us. Currently I'm having my copywriter manually create scripts for me, but because I feel like it works better for us. But until he came in, I used to have AI create scripts for me. Just by moving them to ready to write, AI is able to capture all the information, create detailed scripts for me, and based on that I was able to do stuff. And the next thing that we have is we have an automation that automatically schedules content. So yeah, so all we have to do is move them to ready to publish, and we had an automation that automatically publishes everything using Blotato. So we use Blotato API, a couple of the API we directly posted, but now we are starting to use Blotato API to directly post stuff. So have an automation that automatically posts stuff for me. And we also use Opus to clip long form clips and then post them automatically onto our social media content. So that's essentially all the systems that I use, all my tracking used. I hope you guys found insanely good value from this video. There's a bunch more other stuff that I do in my content. Don't want to go in detail about everything. Now I don't want to leave you guys with just this information, because I know I got you guys a bit excited seeing all these cool things, these cool agents and stuff like that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be attaching a Gumroad link where you can buy this thing for a really dirt cheap price. I spent thousands of dollars. I spent close to $1,000 in this template. I spent hundreds of dollars in building the agent out, the automations out. Thousands of dollars has been spent on this thing. I'm not gonna charge you thousands of dollars. I'm gonna probably charge you some sort of minimal amount, because I like to build community and I like you guys to find value. But if I make it free, you guys are not going to value it. So I'm going to be attaching the Gumroad link with some decent price, and hope you guys find value in it. And if you need further assistance, complex custom builds so you can operate and get ahead of your business, I'll attach a link below where you can book a free call with me or my team, and we can go over exactly what we can do in your business. Guys, I'll talk to you guys soon. See you on the next video. Talk soon. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.